What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video, and I did want to make this more of a live video, a reaction video on my thoughts on Cam Newton being released, Mac Jones being the starting quarterback, and we're going to get into what all of that means for Mac Jones, for Cam Newton, and really ultimately how this all transpired. I would have had this video out about 30 minutes after we learned the news, but unfortunately my software just not working. Hopefully I can get that back up at some point, but until then it is just going to have to be a voiceover. But in a highly surprising move, the New England Patriots released starting quarterback Cam Newton. Now, all offseason we heard there's a quarterback battle. We heard some people say there's really not a quarterback battle. Now, despite what you felt, I think we could all agree we didn't expect Mac Jones to start week one. I believed that, hey, Mac Jones is really pushing to start at some point this season versus what I originally thought about Cam Newton just starting the entire year, redshirting Mac Jones, and then starting Mac in 2022. But instead, it looks like Bill Belichick believes that rolling with Mac Jones is going to give the Patriots more of a higher winning probability than they would with Cam Newton. And I find that really, really interesting. And Belichick must be very confident in what has been shown from Mac Jones since he was drafted just back in April, just a couple of months ago, versus what Cam Newton has done since he joined the Patriots well over a year ago. Now, I believed that starting Cam Newton was going to be the more than likelihood for week one with the Patriots because Mac Jones, he's looking good in the preseason. He's looking good in the offseason. Is he ready to grow with the ones? Is he ready to start week one of the NFL season? I wasn't 100% sure, 100% confident in that, especially with someone like Brian Flores, who is a defense-minded coach who is going to throw a lot at the rookie Mac Jones in his first true NFL game. Things that I really just don't believe Mac Jones has seen yet from the Patriots, has seen yet in the preseason. And let's also remember that last year, the Miami Dolphins had one of the best-ranked defenses in the NFL. So this is really not going to be a cakewalk for Mac Jones as we enter week one. I think what this move also says is that the Patriots receiving core, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, they need to get healthy for week one, and they need to stay healthy all season. Because with Cam Newton, you had that ability with RPOs. You had the ability to run the ball a lot more. With Mac Jones, you're not going to get that. You have a guy who can maneuver around the pocket, escape the pocket if need be, now and then can take off and maybe pick up a couple of yards, but for the most part, when Mac's in the game, he's either going to be handing the ball off or he's going to be passing the ball. It's nothing like Cam Newton where you're going to see a bunch of RPOs and you're going to see him scrambling and using the ball with his legs. Last year, because of the lack of talent the Patriots had within the receiving core at tight end and wide receiver, they relied a lot on Cam Newton's ability as a mobile quarterback. Again, Mac Jones doesn't have that. The Patriots don't have that aspect now. This is going to be heavily relied on with the running backs, so that running back core has to stay healthy, but also is going to be heavily relied on the passing game. Now, as for who's had a better offseason, both players have had a good offseason. I would say Cam Newton looks night and day compared to what we saw when he first joined the Patriots. But obviously, you want to look at training camp. You want to look at preseason. Mac Jones clearly won that job. Again, for me, that stood up to the fact that, hey, Mac Jones could start at some point this season, a couple weeks in. I did not see week one starting, and I didn't see on anybody's 53-man roster predictions Cam Newton getting cut. But Cam Newton during the preseason threw for 162 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, had a completion percentage of 67%, and averaged 7.7 yards per attempt. Mac Jones threw for 389 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, a 69% completion rate, and a 7.5 yard per attempt. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Mac Jones, since the moment he was drafted, is the better system fit. We knew that. There's no arguing with that. Mac Jones was PFF's highest graded rookie quarterback. It all just came down to, okay, what is Mac Jones going to be ready for? mentally, but also just when it comes to the physical side of the game, divulging himself into the Patriots playbook. Is Mac Jones going to give you that physical upside, that mobility that Cam Newton gives you? Not even close. Is he going to give you the throw power that Cam Newton has? No, but what he's going to give you is consistency, and I think that's at the end of the day what Bill Belichick valued the most, is which quarterback is going to be most consistent game in and game out, who is going to learn from his mistakes and not continue to make those mistakes game in and game out and put games on the line. What Mac Jones showed us as a rookie so far truly has been just unbelievable, and I have not seen this, me personally, from an NFL player before. At least not one off the top of my head. Mac Jones being able to come in as a rookie, learn one, if not the hardest offensive scheme in the NFL that the Patriots have. To be able to already read an NFL defense, to be able to switch up the play due to the fact that he can read an NFL defense and maneuver the offense how it needs to be in order for the team's drives and plays to be successful, that's something that he was doing already at a higher level than Cam was. And for me, my big thing was, okay, I just don't think you start Mac Jones week 1 because you want him to be 1,000% ready. And do I think that he's very close to being fully ready? I do, but I don't think he is 1,000% there yet. And my biggest concern would be his confidence. Now, luckily, he has shown us that he's someone that when he does make mistakes, he has learned to kind of keep a short memory with that. Learn from your mistake and go from there. Don't dwell on what you just did. But we've seen several times NFL players come in high confidence, then make mistakes. That confidence gets lowered, and it just ruins the rest of their career. And that's the last thing I wanted for Mac Jones. I said this even since he was drafted. I care more about, hey, what is he going to give us in the future, and not, okay, what's he going to give us the first half of the season. Something that I also wonder is if the whole COVID situation played a part in releasing Cam Newton. Because obviously Newton isn't vaccinated. He's been vocal to the fact that he will not get vaccinated. And say what you want about getting vaccinated or not getting vaccinated, you're not going to change the fact that Cam Newton wasn't vaccinated and he wasn't planning on it. That already screwed him even before the season started because he had to miss practice. He had to miss a joint practice with the Giants, and I think that's partially why he didn't get as much playing time in the preseason finale against the Giants. What you also have to remember is that because of new NFL rules, the Patriots could be forced to forfeit a game if they are dealing with a COVID outbreak. And Cam Newton could be in a situation, if he was a starting quarterback, where he could miss multiple games if he came down with COVID, or even if they suspect that he was even close to someone who might have COVID. They won't let him play, and that could also really screw over the Patriots. So I wonder if that also played a factor in it. Like I said earlier, I do think that Mac Jones is the better fit for how the Patriots want to run this offense, how they want to run this system going forward. I think it's going to be a lot more smooth with Mac Jones than it would be Cam Newton, but I do think that if the Patriots continue to deal with a lot of injuries offensively, that it's going to be tougher for the offense to succeed with Mac Jones than it would be if Cam Newton was still in the fold. But nonetheless, a very, very accurate football player. He knows where to put his passes. He's able to read an NFL defense, and he does not make mistakes. He does not turn over the ball. This isn't going to be an easy season for Mac Jones. Like I said, especially week 1, the Dolphins are no joke. The Saints still have a good defense. The Buccaneers week 4 is going to be a real test for Mac Jones. But I do think that as long as the Patriots offense, these receivers can stay healthy, that they will produce still better than last season. But I will guard you that, look, the regular season is very different than training camp and the preseason. So there might be growing pains at times, and it might be a situation where we see Mac struggle a little bit for the first half and then pick it up as the second half comes along. But what are your guys' thoughts and reactions on the Patriots releasing Cam Newton and rolling with Mac Jones as starting quarterback? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. Like always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Go Pats.
World.